Hello. I decided that I really should start making videos again and discipline myself to do it. I thank the few people who stuck with me. I really do appreciate that. Um, so I thought as this is my more general channel, I'll tell you some of the latest things that have been happening that I've been going to, I've been doing. I live in a very amazing place, a small country town, but the big exciting thing that's happened recently is we've been having live link-ups with the National Theatre in London. So for a very reasonable amount of money, I think it's something like £10, we can go to our cinema at a certain time on a certain date, and a play being performed in the National Theatre in London is broadcast live on a huge screen to our cinema. And it's like being at the theatre because you see the theatre audience at the National Theatre milling around before the performance just as you were at the theatre. And when they have an interval, we have an interval at the cinema, and they have a bar out the back for us to go to. And you can see all the actors really close up, so it's actually better than being at the theatre, because when I'm at some of these big theatres, when I used to go, I'd be up in the gods miles away, and I couldn't really see the actors' faces and hear that brilliantly sometimes. But this is amazing, and they also broadcast live link-ups to the Royal Opera House in Covent Garden at certain times, and recently they did a live broadcast from the British Museum, and they took us around the Viking exhibition there, which I'm actually going to visit in real life. And the curator explained a lot about the exhibits, and they actually interlaced it with sections of real life action about Vikings and films with Viking reenactors sailing and doing things, and it was absolutely amazing. And it sold out, and it saved the cinema. I mean, it was a little cinema, and only going because it was Art Deco, and it got a grant because it was an Art Deco building, and the audience was falling away to watch films in the cinema. But these theatre and other things are selling out like you have to book up weeks in advance. And our little cinema had the biggest audience for the Viking exhibition, so much so that the curator of the British Museum is actually coming in person to my town to do a live question and answer session at the cinema about the Vikings and the exhibition. And I'm going back in June to watch an Alan Ayckbourn play that I've already had to book for, but brilliant. We saw King Lear there a couple of weeks ago, and we actually went to an encore performance, a second performance they arranged, because the first one was so successful. It's quite a big screen. It's the biggest screen, so it's the biggest auditorium, and it completely sold out. It was absolutely fantastic. So they're actually talking about building a cinema, a theatre in the cinema, because they've discovered there is this untapped audience here for theatre. But I like the idea that people who wouldn't necessarily be able to afford to go into London and go to a theatre can see these amazing performances in the cinema, and it's really brilliant. I've been enjoying living in a country town. May has been spectacular with blossom and trees, and when I get more able with my camera, I must go out and film around. It's such a beautiful place, and there are moments of magic where I just go out into the nature reserve and listen to the birds, and I feel so privileged to be here because I grew up in an area where I had no garden. I had a concrete backyard, and so for me, being here at this time in my life is such a privilege, and I'm aware of that. I really appreciate it. Um, what else has happened? Oh yes, we had a food and drink festival this weekend, which is another lovely thing they do here in my town. All local farmers and people who produce things locally have stalls, and the recycling people come and the transition town people come, and local people can meet and sample things. And there are some international things because there is a multicultural element here, and that was lovely. So I went, because I'm a diabetic vegan, I couldn't eat any of the beautiful cakes or fudges or sausages or barbecues, but there's a lovely Greek guy who had a Greek vegetarian store who made me a vegan wrap and made some vegan things for me, which I loved. And my daughter came up with her boyfriend, her fiance I should say, and so really lovely. It was on for 2 days, and next time they do it I'll bring my camera. in a few months I think they're having an international market where you can try things from different countries. But as I say, we have a multicultural element here, which is lovely. So I could have Polish rye bread from a Polish baker, and that was really nice. And there's Mexican food, and they gave me some wholemeal smoked, some lovely smoked vegan beans, which is really nice. Yeah, it's really good. So I'm enjoying this month very much. My daughter has got engaged and is getting married next summer, but she's thinking she'll go to Italy and get married, so we'll all have to fly over to Italy. But the truth is, in this day and age in Britain, it's so hard for young couples to buy a home and find a home that spending out on a huge wedding seems obscene. So she's sort of scaling her wedding down, doing a romantic wedding abroad with people she really loves and really cares about. And we'll probably pay for her to have a party when they come back here, but I'll let you know when that happens next summer. We'll probably film it. But for her, it's happening to a lot of young people here, and my heart goes out to them. It's so hard for them to A, get work, and B, get a home. You know, my generation were lucky compared to them, so I'm trying to help her. And what else is happening? That's it so far on the home scene. I'm still keeping up my healthy lifestyle because my blood pressure is very high. I have to drink loads and loads of water. But that's been clearing my brain, actually. I'm sure I can think more sharply because I drink tons of water. I have to have a pint when I get up, and a pint before I go to bed, and I drink during the day, but I feel sharper. And the vegan diet keeps me fit, and the yoga. I do yoga twice a week and a bit at home. So, not bad for someone in her 61st year, I think. Okay, goodbye everyone. Thank you for watching this. I hope you're all well and have a wonderful, wonderful summer. Bye.